my tips here for those two positions, CRA and PM, is the fastest way to get your foot in the door, okay? Like right now, scoop 2 days ago, Parexel is hiring 100 CRAs across Halifax, Quebec City, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. And you have to know that most pharma companies are in Montreal and Ontario. Why? Because more than 60% of the Canadian population is in Quebec and Ontario. That's where the jobs are. So Parexel, it's a CRO. You may want to Google them and see what positions are available. And we'll talk about headhunters also after, how they can help you get into the pharma. It takes 3 years to master the position. It's not an easy job. I'm sure you're all very, very smart. And I'm telling you, you do automatic job the first year. After a year, you realize, oh my God, I missed that on all my medical charts. I'm going to have to go back. That's the second year, that's where you are. And usually, after 3 years, you start to be proactive. That's why it's a job that sometimes people stay there for 10, 50 years because they love it. And as you get comfortable in your job, you become proactive. You know how to save time, you know how to negotiate, organize, prioritize, and it's just piece of cake. But it takes at least 3 years. Everyone who came in my office and I said, you know, it's going to take you at least 3 years. And he kind of looked at me with a smile thinking, you think I'm or what? I said, no, it takes time. Believe me, it takes time. I've done it. If I had not done the job, I wouldn't be able to tell you this, but it takes 3 years. We've seen many CRAs leaving after 2 years to go for promotion, another company, and we end up doing 6 months of cleaning the charts, cleaning everything, cleaning other people's work, because they haven't had the chance or reached the level of being proactive and realizing all the things they've missed. So it's not an easy job, but it's a fun job. It's a very fun job, the best time. Because I didn't have any responsibilities. It was great. I mentioned earlier, it's really the best way to be successful as a project manager. And while you're in the pharma, best way to find another job. Maybe you're going to say, you know what? I don't really like this job. I'm interested in drug safety. I'm interested in regulatory affairs. The goal of your supervisor is really to promote you and to keep you. When you're good, people want to keep you and they do everything they can to keep you in the company. You want to go in sales and marketing, they will make sure that you have a transition role to go into sales and marketing. That's why people stay there for such a long time. I was moved around by the wave of opportunities. I have 3 kids, and I was pregnant, I think, 3 times. I missed opportunities because I was on maternity leave. And then I came back and some opportunities came up when I arrived, when I came back from mat leave, that wouldn't have happened. People stay there for a long time because it's rewarding, and people, like I said, the best time to find a job is when you have a job. That will be your case in a couple of years once you've entered, you've put your foot somewhere. And again, you may find yourself having other interests somewhere else. You may get promoted. You'll see. Okay, the next set of positions, very popular positions, medical science liaison and scientific director or medical advisor. These jobs didn't exist 15 years ago, and now they are so popular. They're very much geared towards PhD students. Very much geared with PhD students, the medical scientific liaison and scientific director. So we're going to do the same exercise. I'm going to tell you what it entitles. Also, home-based position. You travel a lot of time, confined Eastern Canada, or Western Canada, you manage about 15 to 20 doctors. Those are key opinion leaders, people that are on all the boards, publishes a lot, forefront. They're not people who prescribe medication. They're just speakers who come, and when they say we're going into that direction, into disease management, everyone follows them. They're the guru. So you deal mainly with those doctors. You also have to write a visit report. You're speaking a lot about information and clinical data, safety data that the sales rep is not allowed to talk about. There may be some safety concern, it's not out there yet, but usually the big doctors and the gurus are aware of. So you may be asked to come and make a presentation to the pharmacist at the Royal Vic Hospital to talk about the recent side effect of Pradax, which is this new drug, new anticoagulant drug, oral drug, supposed to replace Coumadin. So you have to be able, obviously, to be comfortable into presenting clinical data. The scientific director or medical advisor position, usually you start as an MSL. Takes about 3 years also to master the position. Then you move up into being a scientific director or medical advisor position. If you're an MD, most of the time you can switch right into this position right away, scientific director, medical advisor. But again, try to do this job first, because medical advisor, scientific director, you manage a team of MSL, and if you don't understand your people, it's pretty hard to gear them into the right direction. Involves a little bit less travel. You're responsible for Canada. You work mainly with the people at head office and also the people in the US. You review the visit reports of the medical liaison. These positions are mainly medical affairs positions. Remember, medical affairs post-marketing, after the drug is approved. I spent my last eight or 9 years working in medical affairs. So sometimes I would write clinical protocol with the investigators in collaboration with the MSL and the medical advisor. You write publications, you write posters, you present, you need to be, there's a lot of the stuff you do as medical liaison and scientific director. It's more science focused. When you're in medical affairs, it's very important, because if you're interested into that positions as PhDs, you will often see in the job description ability to manage or execute a medical affairs plan. So what is a medical affairs plan exactly? I put this on purpose. The plan is basically what you're going to be doing in the next 2 or 3 years in order to develop doctors or rising star. Sometimes you have doctors aged in their 50s and 60s, and you see this nice younger surgeon at 35 years old who's a great speaker. And when he says something, everyone goes into that direction, and maybe you want to work with this doctor in the future. You want to be able to publish your data. You're going to target the scientific conference you're going to attend and write a report back to the company and to your peers, because people travel. It's a very nice position. You also manage a small budget for doctors. Usually it's $500,000, not more than that. You prepare a lot of slides for your presentations to hospitals. Sometimes you go and present to the Ministry of Health. Sometimes you give training to the sales rep. Also, you give a lot of training. You participate in an advisory board. We have this new drug. These are the results. What are your safety concerns? Usually the doctors, the scientific doctors, are all aware of the drugs that are going to be launched on the market. They help the pharma companies to target. This is going to be an issue for you guys. You may want to handle this. Your price is going to be an issue. Your drug is only given twice a day, yet your safety profile about this is concerning to me. I would not prescribe your drug because of this. So doctors normally help pharma companies orientate their drug development. So here again, the scientific director and the MSLs, they work hand in hand together. You rarely work alone, as I said earlier. There's a lot of teamwork. The skills required, it's exactly the same as CRA and PM. You know the soft skills, interpersonal skills, verbal and written communications. They're all coming from job descriptions. You go online, you look at job descriptions, it's always the same words that come back again and again. It's all the same. But it's true, in reality, that's what you need too. Here you need presentation skills. You need to be at ease to present clinical data. You don't have to be a wonderful wow speaker, it's not the point. It's just to be able to present clinical data. And because you're managing a medical affairs plan and a budget, you need a lot of business, I would say more business skills. If the disease area, great if you worked in oncology and you're hired in oncology, it's your safety net. But your background in science, well, is enough to get you into the position. In the company, there's a lot of training. People will train you on the disease. They'll train you on the good clinical practice. They'll train you on business skills, on budget, on negotiation, project management. As soon as you get into your foot in the door, there's a lot of opportunities for training. And jump on every training you can get because, first of all, it's free. And as corporations, we're obliged, not even any corporations in Quebec, there's a law. You're obliged to save a certain portion of your revenues to spend into training. I think it's 4 or 5% of revenues into the training of your employees. Okay? So, tips. It's very popular, extremely popular position, very rewarding. If the science and presenting is your thing, presenting is your main thing, is presenting. You're going to love this job. You're presenting to eye doctors, pharmacists, whoever, you're going to love it. It takes 3 years to master the position. And here, when there's an opportunity to move to be a senior MSL, overseeing other MSLs, sometimes, a scientific director leaves for another company, you've been there 3 years, you're doing a great job, they're going to ask you, you want to be a scientific director. When you're good in your position, promotions happen naturally. And you don't like it. You want to go in clinical research. Your supervisor will ensure that you go into clinical research. We have fellows that I've known, they wanted to go into marketing. We've arranged for them to go into marketing. So once you're in there, there's a lot of opportunity to move within the company. Again, it's the same story as before. It's the best way to be a good scientific, a medical advisor, a scientific director, or a medical advisor, if you've done the job before, because then you understand the problems more. It's the best way to find another job when you're employed, but in your case, you're not employed yet. But be patient. Be patient and learn the basic really, really well. People who move too quickly, when I get a CV and the person moved every 2 years, every employer wants to hire someone and keep these people forever. Okay, that's a dream. It's totally unrealistic, but you want to have someone who's going to stay with you. So if you see the person has moved 2 years, and it takes 3 years to master the position, you look and you put the CV aside. Okay, so once you get in a job, stay in a job, unless you really, really don't like it. but stay in your job. Don't try to move too fast. You're going to regret. Master the basic. It's very important.